What if I told you Jay-Z and 50 Cent weren't just rivals, they were quietly building empires while the world thought it was all drama? Stick around, because I'm about to show you the chess moves nobody saw coming. Jay-Z once walked away from a sneaker deal that could have made millions, only to come back and dominate the game in a way nobody expected. Here's the untold story behind his genius strategy. Fans thought Jay-Z and 50 Cent's beef was all personal, but the truth? It was a silent power play that changed hip-hop forever. Let me break down what really happened. Imagine playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. That's exactly what Jay-Z did with 50 Cent, and it's a masterclass in strategy you need to see. While the world focused on their rivalry, Jay-Z and 50 Cent were quietly turning tension into billions. This is the secret story of how moguls are made. Jay-Z once had a sneaker deal in the works with Steve from Reebok. He and his team were literally designing the whole concept on a private plane. But Jay saw the bigger picture, pulled out, and switched the game. Fast forward, G-Unit got a sneaker deal. Jay-Z got a sneaker deal. The man wasn't just playing smart, he was playing chess while everyone else was stuck on checkers. When people look at the tension between Murder Incorporated, G-Unit, and Rockefeller, most assume it was all ego and street drama. Gotti set the record straight. It was never personal. It was pure business. Jay saw the power shift coming long before anyone else. He anticipated the wave, and he moved with precision. Even 50 Cent could see it. He could feel the moves Jay was making, even if they weren't always obvious on the surface. Gotti later admitted that when Jay explained what was really happening, it wasn't about physical beef or street-level rivalries, it was something far more calculated. It was lyrical, it was strategic, it was a series of moves carefully designed to set up long-term dominance. Irv went off, confused and frustrated, caught in the heat of the moment, while Jay stayed calm, almost untouchable. He let everything unfold, never reacting impulsively, always thinking 5, 6, sometimes 10 steps ahead. This wasn't checkers, it was chess. And the next move proved it. Right after that period of tension, Jay went on tour with 50 Cent. On the surface, it looked like a simple business arrangement, but in reality, it was a calculated step in a much bigger plan, a move that reinforced alliances, leveraged attention, and amplified their respective brands. To understand the brilliance behind these moves, you need to look at the people surrounding them. Gotti, who has always been close to both camps, explained how Steve Stout, one of the sharpest minds in hip-hop business, read the room long before most of the industry even noticed what was happening. Stout didn't just react to trends, he anticipated them. He saw 50's rise, how quickly he was changing the game with mixtapes, street credibility, and viral momentum. And instead of panicking or trying to compete purely on ego, Stout shifted deals, reorganized opportunities, and laid the groundwork for strategic moves that would eventually benefit everyone involved. Jay-Z didn't just follow Stout's lead, he collaborated with him, matching his business instincts with his own foresight. Together, they pivoted the Rockefeller empire in ways that no one else could see coming. While other labels and artists were stuck reacting to headlines or chasing the next single, Jay was positioning Roc Nation for long-term cultural and financial dominance. He understood that timing was everything, and every deal, partnership, and move was a piece in a much larger puzzle. It's important to note how revolutionary this approach was for hip-hop at the time. Most artists were still trapped in old-school notions of loyalty and street codes, often letting personal feelings dictate business decisions. Jay, however, understood a fundamental truth: emotion rarely pays bills. Strategy does. Vision creates empires. That calm, calculated mindset is exactly what set him apart from nearly everyone else in the industry. And it wasn't just about making money, it was about influence, legacy, and control. Every sneaker deal, every tour, every brand partnership was a step toward creating generational, not just short-term clout. Even the tour with 50 Cent, when framed through this lens, becomes more than just a collaboration. It's a masterclass in business strategy. By aligning with one of the fastest rising stars in the game, Jay wasn't compromising loyalty or switching sides. He was positioning himself to benefit from the momentum of 50's success while maintaining his own power and brand. He understood the subtle art of collaboration, working with potential competitors, turning tension into opportunity, and building leverage without ever appearing desperate or reactive. And while this kind of strategy might seem cold to outsiders, it's actually grounded in a deep understanding of the culture. Jay never lost sight of respect, history, or the people around him. He recognized 50's hustle, admired the ingenuity of the G-Unit model, and knew that, in the long run, Aligning strategically could elevate everyone involved, even if it ruffled feathers in the short term. This is a man who could see the forest while everyone else was stuck examining individual trees. Gotti also pointed out that what made Jay's move so impressive was his patience. Many artists would have jumped into headline-grabbing conflicts or public battles, allowing emotions to cloud judgment. Not Jay. He calculated the risks, waited for the right moment, and struck when the timing was perfect. The tour with 50 wasn't a reaction, it was part of a sequence of moves he had been planning all along. He understood that public perception, timing, and alignment were all as important as the deals themselves. This ability to play several moves ahead is why Jay-Z has always been seen as a mogul rather than just an artist. While 50 Cent hustled through mixtapes, street buzz, and bold marketing, Jay operated on a level that looked invisible to most, but had profound impact behind the scenes. Together, they created a dynamic where competition fueled respect, tension produced opportunities, and business decisions became the ultimate power plays. Every handshake, every tour, every strategic partnership was a calculated move in a game most people didn't even realize they were watching. Ultimately, the story of Jay-Z and 50 Cent during this period is a lesson in foresight, strategy, and calm under pressure. While the public saw headlines, feuds, and chart battles, the real story was happening behind the scenes, Jay predicting shifts, Stout reading trends, and of Gotti trying to process it all. By the time the industry caught on, Jay-Z had already built leverage, expanded influence, and positioned himself and his empire for the next chapter. He didn't just react, he orchestrated. He didn't just play the game, he was rewriting the rules. That's the genius of Jay-Z's approach during this era. While other artists were consumed by ego, street politics, or immediate gains, he was building a foundation that would last decades. His calm, calculated actions, especially his alignment with emerging forces like 50 Cent, weren't just smart, they were revolutionary. It was strategy layered on strategy, every move serving a larger purpose, and every relationship, even tense ones, turned into an opportunity for growth and expansion. In the end, the tour with 50 Cent, the careful negotiation of deals, and the orchestration of the Rockefeller empire weren't just business moves, they were lessons in foresight, patience, and chess-like thinking. Jay-Z was showing that true power isn't just about winning the moment, it's about setting up a sequence of moves that positions you to win for a lifetime. And that, more than anything, is what separates the artists from the moguls in the world of hip-hop. While most artists were still trapped in loyalty codes, old-school street rules, and fleeting notions of respect, Jay-Z was operating on a completely different plane. He wasn't concerned with proving himself in the moment or reacting to every rumor, diss, or headline. Instead, he was stacking leverage, flipping brand deals, and locking down massive opportunities like his Reebok sneaker collaborations long before anyone even understood what he was doing. To the casual observer, it may have looked like he was moving quietly. But in reality, Jay was predicting the shifts in the industry, positioning himself several steps ahead while the rest of the game was busy playing catch-up. This was the difference between an artist and a mogul. Every contract he signed, every collaboration he initiated, was part of a long-term vision. He understood the simple truth that money finds its way past drama every single time. No matter how loud the streets got, no matter how heated the gossip, no matter how much the media tried to manufacture tension, Jay-Z and 50 Cent knew that true influence was measured in profit, reach, and legacy, not in who had the loudest voice in a beef. And that's where their genius came in. While many viewed the rivalry between them as personal, they treated it as a masterclass in business. Every jab, every sly comment, every move the media blew up as beef was actually part of a calculated strategy, an unspoken way to raise attention and create opportunity. Jay-Z and 50 weren't just playing the game, they were monetizing it, turning what seemed like tension or competition into billions in real-world value. Jay's approach to building his empire was almost surgical. Take the Reebok deal, for example. While others might have waited for the perfect moment or let ego dictate timing, Jay moved decisively. He analyzed the market, assessed the brand's potential, and understood the cultural impact of every move. By the time anyone else even realized the importance of celebrity-endorsed sneakers, Jay had already secured a deal that would influence both music culture and mainstream fashion. This wasn't luck. It wasn't hype. It was vision applied consistently over time. And 50 Cent's rise played perfectly into Jay's strategy. While 50 was hustling mixtapes, building G-Unit, and creating viral moments that shifted attention to himself, Jay wasn't threatened. Instead, he saw the opportunity to align with the momentum 50 had created. The key wasn't personal loyalty or friendship, it was strategy. By working in tandem with 50 on tours, collaborations, and cross-promotions, Jay transformed potential rivalry into leverage. This was chess, not checkers. Every move had a purpose, every interaction a ripple effect on the larger game of influence and money. It's also important to note how this approach contrasted with most of the industry at the time. Many artists were still operating on reactive instincts, defending reputations, responding to perceived slights, and prioritizing street credibility over sustainable growth. Jay recognized that while headlines fade, relationships, deals, and equity have lasting value. He treated every project like a long-term investment, each song, tour, and partnership a building block for a foundation that would last decades. And that's why, even in the midst of public drama, Jay-Z's moves were always calculated. The media might have focused on the rivalry with 50 Cent, the subtle shade, or the occasional diss, but behind the scenes, every decision was tactical. Jay understood the power of perception, the influence of timing, and the weight of every business relationship. When he moved, the industry followed, not because he chased attention, but because his actions created results that couldn't be ignored. This mentality extended beyond music into brand partnerships, fashion, sports, and media. By the time other artists were chasing clout, Jay had already diversified, built networks, and created platforms that ensured his empire would continue growing regardless of industry drama. And 50 Cent applied the same principles in his own way, turning street credibility into media dominance, TV deals, and consumer brands. Together, they demonstrated that competition, when handled strategically, doesn't destroy opportunity, it amplifies it. What's perhaps most impressive about Jay-Z and 50 Cent is how they turned tension into a business advantage. They treated every headline, every rumor, and every public interaction as a potential asset. The key was detachment, separating ego from strategy, emotion from execution. By doing so, they created a model that many artists today still struggle to replicate, one where power, influence, and wealth are the true measures of success, not street reputation or social media clout. Ultimately, Jay-Z's strategy shows that building an empire is about vision, patience, and discipline. Every move, from securing sneaker deals to strategic collaborations with peers like 50 Cent, was about positioning for the long game. While the streets debated loyalty and respect, Jay and 50 were turning those same debates into opportunity, stacking value quietly while the rest of the world watched the drama. He never allowed rivalry to overshadow opportunity, he turned it into leverage. Likewise, 50 Cent recognized that even in moments of tension, there was value in proximity to Jay's influence, networks, and strategic vision. Both men have always had the ability to compartmentalize ego, separating personal feelings from professional outcomes. This kind of strategic detachment is what sets true moguls apart from artists who are simply reacting to trends. While other figures in hip-hop might have let jealousy, pride, or old-school loyalty dictate their moves, Jay and 50 always calculated the bigger picture. They knew when to collaborate, when to compete, and when to stay silent, allowing the work itself to speak louder than any public statement. That unspoken understanding has allowed both of them to continue thriving, even decades into their careers. Power in hip-hop, and in any industry, shifts fast. One year, you're on top of the charts, riding a wave of influence. The next, someone else is dominating the conversation. Jay-Z and 50 Cent both understood that visibility and relevance are fleeting if you don't back them up with strategy, business acumen, and long-term vision. Their silent rivalry became a kind of motivator, pushing each of them to innovate, expand, and diversify their empires in ways most artists never consider. Even in moments when they appeared to be on different paths, Jay-Z sitting at boardroom tables negotiating billion-dollar deals in art, real estate, and luxury brands, and 50 Cent flipping street instincts into media dominance, TV production, and viral marketing, they were still playing the same game. Both were securing power, influence, and wealth, just in different arenas. The rivalry never hindered them. If anything, it elevated their ambition. This is why their story resonates so deeply. It's not about personal drama or childish vendettas. It's about understanding the value of calculated competition and mutual respect. The tension isn't a weakness, it's a tool, a force that keeps them sharp, engaged, and driven. It's proof that sometimes your biggest wins come from working with people who challenge you, who push you to think bigger, who force you to operate at a higher level than you would on your own. In the end, The quiet tension between Jay-Z and 50 Cent is more than just a side note in hip-hop history. It's a masterclass in strategy, collaboration, and legacy building. It shows that you can achieve monumental success even when relationships are complicated, that respect doesn't require friendship, and that true moguls understand how to turn competition into opportunity. For fans and aspiring entrepreneurs alike, their story is a reminder that the game is never just about clout or headlines. It's about vision, foresight, and the ability to turn even rivalry into an asset. Jay-Z and 50 Cent are living proof that power doesn't need to be loud to be effective. Their quiet, calculated moves, their strategic alignment, and their ongoing competition continue to define their legacies. And while the tension will likely never fully disappear, it doesn't need to. It's become part of the foundation of their empires, a reminder that in the world of business and culture, respect, strategy, and vision will always outlast drama and noise. Power struggle that never truly ends. Even without direct disses, their actions speak volumes. Jay locks down billion-dollar deals in luxury, art, and sports. Meanwhile, 50 dominates Hollywood, liquor, and viral moments. Different lanes, same influence. This isn't just rap anymore, it's empire talk. Jay sits at the table with CEOs, buying stakes in companies most rappers can't even meet with. 50 flips street smarts into media gold, turning Instagram captions into internet headlines while signing massive production deals. Every move is a flex, a chess play, a reminder. They're still running their worlds. Fans notice every project, interview, or sly line. Social media explodes trying to decode whether it's shade or strategy. It's like a cold war between two moguls who don't need to fight, they just need to shine brighter. And the truth? That competition pushed both higher. Without 50's relentless grind, Jay might not have sharpened his edge. Without Jay's disciplined legacy, 50 might not have aimed so high. Mutual rivalry, silent respect, and an endless chase for the top, that's what makes their story legendary. Even decades later, the energy between them persists. Every deal, interview, or sly comment reminds the world their moves speak louder than diss tracks ever could. Jay's in the billionaire league now, real estate, art, luxury, tech. He's beyond music. He's in the money business, making every appearance a power statement. 50, on the other hand, is the street executive turned entertainment mogul. TV shows, liquor brands, viral content. He can turn a single post into worldwide headlines. Structure versus hustle. Polished legacy versus raw grit. And yet, both reshaped culture and built empires. Their rivalry is quiet but relentless. It's not music anymore, it's legacy. Every win, every deal, every headline is another move in a never-ending game. And the craziest part? Both are still winning in their own lanes. Two kings, two empires, one endless race for the crown. Even Chris Gotti acknowledged it. Jay's moves back then shook Murder Incorporated, bruised egos, and made everyone question loyalties. But time always proves the truth. Jay was ahead of the curve. He wasn't chasing hits. He was building a legacy. Jay-Z wasn't just making moves, he was building blueprints for generational power. He spotted the culture shifting before most even noticed. While others chased short-term street glory, he was thinking in corporate colors, brand deals, sneaker lines, partnerships, and global expansion. He wasn't living in the moment. He was building forever. That's the real difference between an artist and a mogul. It's not betrayal, it's growth. It's strategy. It's evolution. That mindset is what separates good from legendary. And that's why Jay-Z and 50 Cent will always be linked, even if they walk different paths. Both shared that same unstoppable hunger. One came from boardrooms, the other from street corners, but the mission was the same: dominate on every level. They proved that smart business doesn't kill the culture, it elevates it. Strategy always beats emotion. Money and power don't mean you turned your back, they mean you started thinking like a boss. So here's the question: was Jay-Z wrong for doing business with 50 after everything that went down, or was he just playing the long game like a true mogul? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.